All
Sure
right,
thing.
guys, this guy laid back call tonight. I mean, you guys could jump in, doesn't matter. I knew it was gonna be. I wanted a small group. I'm doing this because of my dad, and I want to have it recorded because it exemplifies what we're doing in MIH Mastermind. So this I've done, and I knew I was gonna get a small crowd on this one. If I put up asset management secrets, we would have got 100 people. You know, I've had 200 people on free education Zooms. So this one's gonna be special for MIH Library, you know, and it will relate to a lot of people in there, especially like Yosef. Oh, Ian is coming. If Yosef wasn't so busy, I'd call him up and yell at him to make him come because he would add so much value over here right now. So let me share my screen. I'm gonna go through this and then we could talk at the end. You know, share. All right, can you guys see my screen? Ian, we're good. Okay. So guys, my dad was a very simple guy. All right, and I laid out their basics. But when I really get into it, I'm not going to teach by like the book, like what is work ethic, what is honor, what is family. I'm going to give a story of how my dad taught it to me and how I'm implementing it, like real life situations. So, um, you know, because the world today is so complicated, and my dad just kept it simple. He just worked his ass off. He didn't complicate things. There was no social media back then, and if there was social media, my dad wouldn't be on it. He'd be like, you know what, I got to work and make money. You know, I got to feed the family. He's putting back in the day was putting food on the table. That's what was important back in the day. You know, it wasn't like what car can we buy or how big is the house. It was like putting food on the table. That was a man. Like you put food on the table. You were the rock of the family. You know, and a roof over our heads. Simple things. You know, so let's start out with the basic one. Everybody knows this one, but the other ones are gonna be a lot easier, a lot more involved. Work ethic. I have never witnessed a person with my dad's work ethic. I mean, I have an amazing work ethic. Ian, you see me. Everybody, as a leader of INH, yes, I get it from my dad. He would, and the way he was work hard in silence, let your success be your noise. They have that quote today. That was my dad. He did that. He worked in silence. He went to work, came home. There's no social media. Woke up, had his coffee, watched Good Morning America, went back to work. It was wash, rinse, and repeat. He was on wash, rinse, and repeat, and he was back to zero. I teach back to zero. All the gurus, like they teach you back to zero. Like the sales guy, he's $100,000 a year. Oh, Dar's coming. Let me let him in. The sales guy, who charged $100,000 a year, just did a lesson on back to zero. Huge, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're a genius." You know, my dad was doing that. My dad was back to zero in the '70s. You know, he wasn't teaching it; he was living it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't out there making millions teaching back to zero. He was living it. He was back to zero. You know? And I teach back to zero every night. Like, yes, they say I sold my restaurant, retired in 2020, but I teach back to zero. Every day, Ian, we get at it with health. We wake up, we work on our businesses, we work on our health. At the end of the day, I'm tired. Like, if I'm not tired, did I do enough today? I love my legs. I put them up and I watch TV with my wife end of the day and I'm shot. I'm back to zero the next day. The next day I'm starting out like I'm at zero. I need to prove something. I need to do something good for my family in health and in wealth. You know, my dad was going that extra mile. He never complained. He just did and did and did and like, hey dad, we gotta get this done. Okay, no problem. He always went the extra mile, man. He just never complained all his life. And you know what? He had the right to complain because he didn't have it easy. He wasn't. I was born here. He wasn't born here. I went to college. He didn't go to college. You know. Don't just work. Look at my shirt. My dad was outwork everyone. Like Andy, what you're doing? You're working like a horse, dude. You are outworking everyone. Like you have the law firm. You're buying, and you love what you do. And my dad had to go into the restaurant business because he didn't know how to. He didn't go to school. Started as a dishwasher, but he was so good at 21. He was a head chef of this little Italian restaurant in Brooklyn with 5 tables, like a Rayo's. And you know what? He was kind of forced into that work, but he ended up loving what he did. He fucking loved it. Like at nighttime, he'd go home and watch the cooking channel. He'd watch Gordon Ramsay and Emerald back then, and he turned out to love it like you love it, Andy. Like you love your job. So, but my dad, I'm telling you right now, he would come in when he retired. My dad retired at 55, and we did our restaurant. Remember, he would come in because him and my wife were married. Him and my mom were married for ever. And I'm like, Dad, why don't you? He's like, I can't stay home. He's like, what am I gonna do? I don't play golf. So he came to work. He wouldn't let me outwork him at 55, 60. He would push at 60 years old. I'm like, dude, take. He's like, he would. It's like a challenge. He would not be outworked. He would come in the morning, and at nighttime we're leaving. I'm like, Dad, it's Thursday night. I want to go out. We're leaving like at 8. He goes, we got to leave 8:30. It's a little busy. And the guy was like retired. And I'm thinking like, I was like 21, 22. I was working hard, but I'm like, hey, I want to go out. These guys can handle it. He's like, no. We stay. We leave 8:30. At 9 o'clock maybe. You know? It rubbed off. Here's the story. It rubbed off on me and my brother. Me and my brother were successful partners for 25 years because we never looked at the hours. And the wives too. My brother always told the wives. My wife and his wife had very good talk with them, saying, Marco might work 5 more hours this week. I might work 7 more hours next week. We can't look at the hours. And you know what me and my brother did? We tried to outwork each other. I swear to God, without even saying it to each other. It was psychologically was instilled in us by our father. I think. Me and my brother had the best partnership because we literally tried to outwork each other. If I showed up early, he would be there early. My brother. If I worked late, he would stay with me late. If I needed something, we tried to. When he went home, I was watching the Yankee game. I'm like, it was 11 o'clock at night. I called up my brother. I'm like, yo, dude, did you see Jeter's home run in the 10th inning? He's like, no, I'm looking for deals for us. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Go to bed. You have 3, 4 kids, right? I can't remember when I said, you just got home from the restaurant at 9 o'clock. We should be, watching. He goes, I'm looking for deals for us, dude. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, you know what? That's why I said, you know what? You got to go home early on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and look for deals. And I'll stay there later, So you can't, my dad used to say, you can't always control your circumstances, but you can control your level of effort. He never had that why me mentality. A lot of times when people growing up in certain situations, certain families, they always have that victim mentality. Why me? Why me? My dad never complained. He never said, why me? He started out as a dishwasher at 16. You know what he said to me? A story. I complained about something one day at work. I was like 21. And then maybe about the pay, because of course you're trying to teach me a lesson, pay me like nothing. And it was going to be mine one day. And he said to me, he tells me a story, he goes, Marco, did you ever have to pay me rent? And I'm like, no. And these stories always came. I know why they're coming. He goes, when I was 18, I had to give Grandpa rent in Brooklyn. I was working. What were you doing at 18? I said, I was a freshman in college. He goes, yeah, you're having fun, drinking, chasing girls, and learning and having a great time, right? And I paid for it. He's like, yeah, I was paying rent. So it's like, how do you just look at him and say, I'm sorry, I wish you didn't have to do that, And then you realize how good you have it. That like, I can't complain. And if I do, that's kind of really dumb. I have somebody over here who's paying rent at 18, working full time, and having to help his dad when my dad is helping me. He goes, and that's what he said to me. He goes, all you have to do is wake up and go to work. You never have to help me. He goes, I had to help my father. He's like, I'm helping you. You got a job, wake up, go to work, your life is made. If you don't get up, it's your problem. You got a great job, you're going to make a good income. And then you got to learn how to invest, he said. Honor and integrity. This is very big. If you don't have honor, you don't have anything. And this is MIH all the way. I have a funny story of a for family I sold on this. And it's about my dad and my dad's friend. My buddy Johnny Villa, they own a big wedding hall down the road. And I put it on Facebook. I'm selling the for family. I got like 17 cash offers. They're like, this is 2019, like 17 offers, 4 of them were cash in 3 hours. I picked my buddy Johnny out of the mall to come visit it and whatever. Him and his dad, 75 years old, replica of my dad, old Italian guy, very honorable Italian guy. We're walking the property. They love the house. We agreed on price, $550 cash. Literally cash. They don't need, they sell in buildings. And I shake his hand. I shake Johnny. I'm like, Johnny, shake his hand. Then I shake the dad's hand. I said to the dad, come on, let me bring you inside. I got to show you the apartments. A couple need a little work. I don't want you to be surprised. I said, when you do inspection, you let me know what's going on. We take care of anything. The dad goes, I just shook your hand. We don't need to do inspection. Blown away, guys. We're in multifamily, right? I looked at the son, who's my friend. I said, Johnny, you guys got to do inspection, man. I would never do anything wrong, pull the wool over you, but you guys got to do an inspection. God forbid there's something broken or whatever, or like, the roofs are new. You see, He goes, they own the construction company. That helped. But still, the dad shook my hand, looked me in the eyes, and he says, are we good? We don't need inspection. Are we good? I looked him in the eyes and I said, we're good. I said, absolutely, you got my word. Word is bond. It's pretty powerful. When you look somebody in the eyes like that and you shake their hand and they're Italian and you're Italian, you better be your word better be proper. You could have a stone-clad contract. That word is stronger than the stone-clad contract, and it's more important. So my dad always taught me, and I say it in the mastermind: say what you will do and do what you say. I repeat that in the mastermind all the time. If you're gonna do something and you're gonna say it, do it. Follow through. Keep your word. Word is bond. My dad used to say. Money, titles, and possessions can be taken away. You know, he taught me always to do the right thing when it is difficult is the mark of true character. You could do the right thing always, but when times get tough in a partnership and a deal and there's capital calls in this or a business or family, or it's doing the right thing in a difficult situation. That's when you have honor and integrity. It's easy to do the right thing when times are good. It's when times get tough and you have tough decisions to make, and to make the right decisions in tough times that's an honor and integrity as Ian, as a realtor, as a family man, as a everything. You know, let me let somebody in. Let's go on to family. Protect and provide for the inner circle. This is the reason I started the inner circle. I call it the inner circle. When I was researching this, and they always say the inner circle in Italian, loyalty to your inner circle is non-negotiable. My dad was so loyal to his friends and paisans, and he was just so good to his friends. He was such a generous guy. He would bring them food. He would cook for them. Do anything. My dad. Here's a story about my dad as being a go-giver. Because people think go-giver is only about money. Oh, that guy's rich. He could be a go-giver. Or he's retired. He could give his time. The dishwasher would be walking by. My dad's peeling an apple, eating an apple. He would cut a piece, give it to the dishwasher. I would walk by. He'd give me a little piece. At the end of the day, my dad had half the apple. That's a go-giver. Anything, something stupid as an apple, my dad was like that. Whatever he had, he always shared. Or wanted to share if he could. You know, and I would see that. I'm thinking it's just an apple, but you should have saw the dishwasher's face. That was respect. A dishwasher usually in a restaurant's not very respected. To get a little respect from the owner, wow, the owner, my boss, just gave me a piece of an apple, man. It was you could see it, and I could see in the dishwasher's eyes the respect he had for my dad for that. You know, my dad always, he would say, show up for people when it matters most. That's why we have the inner circle. I call Ian, talk about my daughter, family issues. He'll tell me about his family issues, and we show up for each other when most needed. I said something that happened with my family. He's like, dude, you don't realize. He's like, that just happened to me last year. Same thing. You know, it's like, and you know, you got to show up for friends when it matters most to them, and family. You know. He would always say, be the rock for your family. When my dad was passing away, he always said, my dad was always the rock for the family. He said, just make sure my wife doesn't work, my mom didn't work, they raised the kids, it's harder than even working, but just saying, it was always on my dad, and it's always on me. And he said, you need to be the rock of the family. He goes, you need to produce in a good economy, bad economy, I don't give a shit what it is, you need just to produce. You need to just put your head down, push forward, and do what you can. You got to be the rock. Don't let the stress bother you. Don't let them see that. You know, just produce. And pure happiness. Here's a good story about my dad. Ian, you're gonna love this one. This is pure happiness, and I learned pure happiness from my father. He could have went out and bought a Lamborghini, a Ferrari. Who joke around with me to piss my mom off and say, "Hey, let's go out. I want this Ferrari." My mom would be like, "You're an old man. You're not buying that." He said, "Tomorrow, me and you're gonna buy it." And you know what? I don't even want to drive it. You drive me to work in it. When we go to work together, you take me. I'm good with that, Dad. Let's go buy the Ferrari. You know. But pure happiness, that was a joke. He would say that to my mom because he wanted to show he could go buy anything, do anything. But you know what made my dad happy? In his Mercedes car, he had a box in the back with the gardening tools and his shoes. Gardening shoes. He would come to work in the morning. At 4 o'clock, he would leave. He'd go to my brother's house, put his shoes on, go in the garden a little bit, cut a tomato or two, help pick some weeds, whatever. Bring the tomato inside to Julia and Spencer, bring some lollipops to the kids. After that, he would drive over to my house, take care of my garden, get a couple cucumbers, tomatoes, go inside to my wife, give them to my wife, bring lollipops to my kids. That was pure happiness. With the daughter-in-laws and the garden. My dad had to garden in Italy because they were poor. They were farmers. My grandfather and my father, who couldn't go to... My dad had to drop out of third grade or fourth grade, I think it was fourth grade, and had to go work on the farm. So my dad wanted to go to high school and college, and he couldn't. Some kids here can get it paid, and they don't want to go. That it was just so my dad had to farm, and when he came to the U.S. and his happiness was now he didn't have to do it, so he loved to do it now, and it was his pure joy was to leave the restaurant, go see Julia, and eat a tomato and cucumber. Tomatoes and cucumbers were his favorite, and then go to my house, and then after that he'd go home and he'd make a salad and he'd watch his Emerald and his stuff, and that was for a man who made it in life at 55. He ended up making quite a bit of money. That's all he needed. He didn't need no social media. He didn't need nothing else. He had a car, his house, the job, and 2 other houses to go to. That's all he needed. He wore his chef coat and his white pants. We used to make fun of him. He looked like an ice cream guy because he did checker pants too. And very simple. And he only got dressed up when he went out with my mom at nighttime once in a while. And he could buy anything, do anything. It just, the happiness was the garden and going to see my wife and my brother's wife and the kids. That was pure happiness today. The most important thing I'm talking about tonight was pure happiness. And I see that. And that's when I start out and say my dad was simple. Life, excuse my language, is fucking complicated. Life is hard. So we want to make money, not for the Lambos. We want to make money to make life less hard. Because when you have money, sometimes a situation like a problem, like a car breaking down or this, if you have the money, it's not a problem. You know? And then we want to enjoy the things of pure happiness, the simple things that we like. You know, so when you have the money, you can pay your bills and all that. That's what we're really worrying about. The Lambos, that's later. That's extra. That's whatever. You know. But let's move on to Stay Hungry. I have Stay Hungry of the lion picture on my wall. It's funny. And as I was researching and thinking of my dad, I was going through stories, and he always just say Stay Hungry. And now I have a thing that they sell. It's never forget where you started. And it's hard. There's a lot of people on social media now who have 2,000 units and 2 books out and best-selling authors. But like Gary Vee says, we all suck. We're all beginners. We all made mistakes. We're all going to lose a couple bucks. All of us. Alex Hormozy says to make your first million, you got to lose 100,000. We're all going to lose. And if whoever says they didn't lose money, then you're perfect. But I've never witnessed a perfect person right now. You know, you got to lose here and there a little bit. A little, you know, you got to make more than you lose, obviously. But never forget where you started. Hadith coming back in. He taught me the fine line. This is super important. I talk about this all the time. I got a story on this. There's a fine line between confidence and ego. And my dad wanted me to be super confident, but he wanted me to know not to have an ego. And it's very close to the line. Because he didn't want me not to be confident enough to worry about the ego thing. And at the restaurant, I'll give you an example. We were doing the brown sauce in the back, and I think I was like 23, 24 years old, and I was doing really good. I was kicking ass. His customers were giving me compliments to my dad, my mom, the whole thing. His buddies were saying, damn, your son's getting good. And I was getting a little cocky in the back, and I was doing the brown sauce. He grabbed my arm, and he literally in his voice, he says, son, you don't know shit. Just like that. Like the old school. And I looked at him, I'm like, he's like, don't get cocky on me. You know, like he's like, you're 23. He's like, you need 10 years with me. You know, he's like, literally. I looked at him. I'm like, when you're young, you're like, yeah, oh man, joker. I'm like, okay. He's like, he looked at me again. He goes, you need 10 years by my side. And then you're ready. Then you are beyond ready. Like beyond. He's like, you're good now. But you got 7 to 10 more years by my side. Like I would spice the marinara 6 years after he said that. Like these big pots, I would just take hands of salt like this without even looking. The oregano, big hand without even looking. And then it would come down and I take a spoon and taste it. And it was as if people usually measure it on the ounce thing. They measure by ounces to the salt, to the 8 ounces, whatever. I would just do it like that. And he taught me so good. Repetition every day with him. that like I would taste it and it'd be spot. I wouldn't even have to taste it. He would taste it, somebody else would taste it, and be like, that's spot on. I'm like, any more? You need a little some more salt, a touch of sugar, take away the acidity. Nothing. Every time. And when you grab your hand, you're not always grabbing the same amount, but I could feel it. I could feel to the T if I was missing a tablespoon, a teaspoon, grabbing hands. So that's what he meant, you know. And the line between confidence and ego, he told me, he goes, I want you to be very confident. He goes, but you can't, I don't want you to be egotistical. I don't care if you win awards. I don't care this. He goes, you got to be humble. You got to be, it's like, I listen to Gary Vee now. I'm learning empathy and gratitude from Gary Vee. It's easy to learn from Gary Vee because I had it all my life. I had Gary Vee and my dad because Gary Vee was the son of an immigrant. You know? So like when Gary Vee's teaching it, I'm learning it fast. I'm like, dude, this makes sense to me. I grew up with this shit. I'm like, yeah, keep talking. You're talking my language. I love it. You're reinforcing my dad is the man. Gary Vee is proving my dad was the man. You know? So that was the Stay Hungry story. Excellence is in the details. My dad always says this. I say this to everyone in the mastermind. If you're going to do a job, do it right and do it to the best of your ability, or just don't do it. Don't ever half-ass shit. Because sometimes we want even when we go to the gym, sometimes even we're tired. I'm not half-assing it. We're you know what? I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. And I push through, but I'm still pushing through good. You know what? I'm about to, no, you know what? I'm not stopping. And I'm not half-assing it just to say I did it. You know what? I'm going to do it. It's going to get done. You know, and just do it to anything. Do it to 2 examples. Now, here's a true examples. And this is my dad teaching me again. You have an owner-employee, suit versus saute pan. My dad, I showed up when I was a young kid. I was like 10, I think, or 11 when I started to work in his other place. 10 years old on Mondays. And I thought I was going to go there and be the son's owner, the owner's son, and do easy stuff. He got a milk crate, and he put me up. Me and my brother started that way too. And we washed dishes with the thing. The dishwasher got a break that day for lunch. He went and did some other prep. And the owner's son was washing dishes. My dad said, before you could touch a saute pan, you need to learn how to wash a dish in a pan. Okay? Not many parents can do that nowadays. Parents want to baby their kids. If they own a business, come here, son. I'll teach you how to cook. Don't worry, we got the dishwasher. He's washing dishes. No. My dad started me on a saute. My dad said, when we had the new restaurant, I was 17, and I was washing saute pans the other place, but then I moved to cook. At the new restaurant, he goes like this one day. When I was 16, actually, 17, he said, wash those 10 saute pans, time yourself. I washed them, and I timed myself. He goes, now do them a little faster. I did them a little faster. Now he goes, now you know how long it takes to wash 10 saute pans? On a Friday night, when your dishwasher is washing saute pans, he better not take longer than you. And if he does, you tell him, listen, it takes me 5 minutes. You should have those ready in 5 minutes. So every job, case of tomatoes came in, my dad would go, cut that case of tomatoes. How long did it take you? I said, 20 minutes, Dad. That's good. And you went pretty quick. I said, yes, I went actually pretty quick. My pizza man would come in, and then my pizza man would cut the tomatoes the next day. It took him 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I said, listen, Renee, not for nothing. It took me 20 minutes. This should take you no more than 30 minutes. I'll give you an extra 10 on me. I don't want you to rush, but it takes me 20. I can't have you cutting these for 50 minutes. You know.
Hey, Marco, can I just jump in for a sec?
Yeah, go ahead.
Loving your stories, mate. And I know today is an extra special call for you because it's about your dad and what he's taught you guys. There's a lot of benefit of starting literally doing the dishes because you learn empathy for the other staff. You actually see what's going on, but they also you gain credibility and respect from the other people in the restaurant. You know, it shows you're not a silver spoon child, that you're actually willing to roll up your sleeves and do whatever it takes. And I just think that's a great lesson.
Yeah. And Ian, you know why you're right? Because my father's friend Tom, the partner, used to bring his son in, and he didn't wash dishes. He didn't really work. He fooled around. He was there to waste time. And the workers didn't respect him. They didn't like the kid. They used to tell my dad, they're like, when's your son coming? He works. They respected me at 10 years old. They respected my dad for being hard on me and my brother, you know. Sacrifice, this goes for multifamily now. Sacrifice today for tomorrow. Delayed gratification, like when Andy joined. I said, Andy, I want you in for 30 years, dude. I want to be your friend because I love his personality. Ian, everybody here. I want you to be in. This isn't a get rich quick, come in, do 2 deals in 2 years, and you're going to quit your jobs. And no, this is for life. Long-term legacy, delayed gratification. My dad had long hours, a lot of discomfort. And that quote today, comfort is the enemy of achievement. My dad never was, he didn't like comfort. He was never comfortable. He didn't mind the long hours. He didn't mind the discomfort. He invited it. He wanted the hard work. He was okay with it. And delayed gratification I learned from my dad. He told me start working. He's like, do this for 20 years. He goes, do it hard. And then every couple of years, you got to save 10 to 30% of your income and invest in stocks, gold, something. Before him, build a house with Zio, something. But he said, do it for 20 years and on the way, don't rush. You got a great business. I built a good restaurant for you and your brother. You're here with your brother. You can raise your families. He's like, don't rush. And he's telling me this back in the day when I'm 21. Nowadays, everybody I meet, these 23-year-olds, I want to quit my job. I'm an engineer. I fucking hate it. It's a golden handcuffs. Like, dude, they're not handcuffs. Do it for 10, 15 years. Leverage the money to invest in stuff. Gold, crypto, multifamily, RV, anything. Fix and flip. So I learned from him. I double dipped 2012 to 2020. I was buying multifamily and I double dipped. I didn't rush and quit. I was double dipping. That's how I got to where I am. And then in 2020, I took the leap. Right before COVID, thank God, my brother, he left in 2016, and I said, I'll last 2 or 3 years without you. 2019, 3 years after, without my brother, it was just blood money, and I'm like, dude, I miss you having lunch with me. I got to sell. And he's like, yeah, sell. He's like, you need to join me. But I didn't rush. Delayed gratification. Harita is letting it back in. And that was very important for my father. Adaptability is the ultimate survival skill. He didn't speak the language. He had to learn a new language. Let me see if this is covering. 1 second. There we go. He didn't have it easy. He didn't do things how they're always done. Now, how are they done? We're born here. We go to college. We make a resume. We get an entry-level job. You start a business, whatever. He had to reinvent himself and solve problems. So what did they do? They took risks, man. Many started businesses, a landscape business. And how'd they start? They bought 2 lawnmowers, 2 brothers, and they both went to go cut grass. They didn't have employees. Then after 6 months or a year, they made some money, and they hired 2 guys. And they still cut the grass. My dad started out as a chef. And then when he turned 32, his buddy, 34, I think, actually 34, his buddies called him, and he didn't have enough money, but they let him borrow $50K. And they needed him because he was a great chef. And he opened up his own restaurant with 2 buddies. And then he paid them back like 3-4 months later from the profits. So my dad took a risk. He started a business. He didn't know anything about accounting, about numbers, about this. He knew how to order food and he knew how to be a good chef. He had to, and he knew how to work in the business. Now he had to learn how to run a business and hire, do all that. Today entrepreneur, he became an entrepreneur. Today entrepreneur is a fancy word. All the young kids I want to be an entrepreneur. They have a major now, entrepreneurship. Never had it when I was in college. It's a fancy word nowadays. For my dad, it was like necessity almost to break out of just not having, to do better for the family, and take a risk. So just having a survival skill, learning a language, being in a foreign country. My dad would go to night school. He told me, just because he also pick up girls, back then, a lot of Italian girls were there from, but he actually said, he had to learn the language, so he went to night school after work. So, he never had time to relax. Responsibility over blame. Extreme ownership with my partners. If something goes wrong, first thing is, what can I have done differently? Let me read that again. If something goes wrong first thing is, what can I have done? First thing is, what can I have done differently? I'm doing that with Darren, Robert, Chris, Hadar, all my partners. With Robert, we have a situation. What could we have done differently? We're not pointing fingers. Me and Robert are taking extreme ownership, and we're telling each other we're going to fix whatever's going on. We have a partner issue. We have a deal. We have to repair a deal. We're not pointing fingers. I'm not pointing fingers at Rob or taking blame, or we're sticking together as the inner circle above that I talked about. Rob, what should we have done better together? What us, both of us. And Rob would say, it's both. Yeah, it's both our fault. It's our fault. So like, and Rob's not pointing fingers. He's taking ownership. I'm taking ownership. Chad's taking ownership. We're doing what my dad said. We got like with Darren, always take ownership. With Chris, the 130 unit OKC. In 2023, he called me and he said we're going to go down to 40% occupancy. I almost threw up, and he almost threw up, and we took ownership. And I said, I'm here for you, and I worked 365 days straight in that fucking deal, and I'm not getting paid a penny. And I let investors nicely know to repair it to get to 97%. 365 days that year I worked, not for $1. And I sent 30,000 to the deal too, so with the whole team, and that's taking ownership, And then throughout in the middle, I took on the lead of the Facebook Marketplace, which is the hardest thing to run, especially in a C area with drugs and crime. And Chris called me and he said, this isn't working. Some of the leads are not showing. Some of these are bad. I said to him, see, I could say, I'm Marco. I have a ton of deals. I don't need to listen to you. No. I'm like, dude, talk to me. What can I do to make it better? Like, and Chris knows I take ownership, and so does Chris. And he's like, I said, help me, man. What can I do to make it better? Like, I want to produce results beyond belief. And I will tell my partners all know, I don't care how successful I am. I'll learn from anybody, work with anybody, and I'm always open to listen and do better for the team. So it's putting the ego to the side, So education. I teach student for life. I'm always learning. My dad did not go to high school or college, and he spoke 5 languages. I'm going to say that one more time. He did not go to high school or college, and he spoke 5 languages. And I don't think he even knew how to read and write that good. I would fill out checks for him at the restaurant. My dad retired at 55, and I had to help him fill out checks sometimes in English because he knew a little more in Italian, but not even in Italian too much. But he spoke fluent Italian, fluent Spanish, fluent English, fluent Albanian, and a little bit of French. So 4 languages. The French was just a little, but Albanian fluent. Because in Italy, part of his town spoke Albanian. Spanish, because it's close to Italian. And English, he picked up when he came here in night school. I mean, he didn't go to school. He went to like some night school. But he picked up English. My dad was a smart guy. If he went to high school and college, man, would have been a different fucking story. He retired at 55. Maybe he wouldn't have done as good. Maybe he did good because he was put in a tough situation. And he adapted. And he said, fuck it, I'm survival. Survival of the fittest. That's the problem nowadays sometimes. We're born in the USA, the best country in the world, and we have too much comfort. Central air conditioning. I didn't have air conditioning when I was 8 years old in our brand new little house that my uncle built us, a duplex. Raymond was on one side and we were on the other. Beautiful little duplex, brand new. Nobody had a brand new house back then. When I was 8 years old, the rooms are small. We had air conditioning in my dad's bedroom, my brother's bedroom. I had the little room. I had to sleep on the floor in the summer, my brother's bedroom. When he was I was 7, he was 11. Nowadays, we have the comforts, So, student for life. I can only imagine if my dad was able to go to high school and college here and still had to, like, grit, Maybe, and then my dad said that. Education to immigrants is super important. Like Gary Vee, like a lot of Americans, I think college is a scam, but it's good to get the degree now. Back in the day, college was more important, I think. There wasn't technology. There wasn't these influencers. There wasn't social media. There wasn't the social media has created a lot of jobs. Back in the day, you needed that degree. You kind of needed to go corporate. When there's no cell phones, there's no this, there's no that. But nowadays, it's still very important to like the immigrants because my father couldn't go to college. He's like, I want you to go to college. I want to be proud of you, son. And he paid for my 4 years of college, and I turned down the job at IT and GE Capital. Still went to the restaurant, but he was proud. He said, I paid for your college. You got your degree. You were college educated. He goes, nobody can take that away from you. If you don't like the restaurant, you get to a fight with your brother, or you freaking hate this, go get a job in any industry, in IT now, in management, marketing, whatever it was. He's like, you got that degree, And he always said, I felt bad. I said, I went to college, joke around, and now I'm at the ring. He goes, it's never wasted, son. He goes, you got a good education. And I applied the marketing and the management to my restaurant. I did stuff my dad didn't do. And I elevated the business. And he saw that. And that's what he was proud of me about. He saw 13 years I worked with him, the skills in marketing and management I learned in social media. Right was coming out when he passed away. And what I did with the flyers and the marketing and the catering and all that, he was blown away. He's like, I couldn't do this. He goes, see, college is good for something, you know? So the art of connection, this is very powerful because it's MIH right here, Mastermind. I'm a master connector. Anna's on here. She knows another master connector in J. Emma, who connected me and Anna. Okay? And Anna's joining the Mastermind, guys. She's new. She's going to be joining like the August group, September, like August, September area. We don't know yet. We already got some good people in. I'm not rushing. But the art of connection, my dad did it the old school way. I'm doing it the social media way, the MIH Mastermind way. My dad did it to how to build authentic relationships. We are different in MIH Mastermind. We're not the guru groups. We're not these big scaling groups. We're not getting rich just on multifamily, they're saying. We're not just doing business acquisitions. We're doing health, family, business acquisitions, everything. But what we're doing is we're building authentic relationships. And Anna saw this. She spoke with Chelsea. And Chelsea she said was amazing. And there's 100 Chelseas in MIH. And Anna, you see Ian tonight. And you'll see Andrew Hubbs tonight. And you see the other ones that are on here tonight. There's 300 members, and there's at least 150 still superly engaged I got to introduce you to. And there's 100 coming upon Avidra that are invited. So, how to build authentic relationships. My dad would call them his paisans from Italy. Paisan was very important. The Italian paisans were very important. He kept them very close to himself. It's hey, like my buddy Ralph Altinez, I call him, hey, paisan. It means something. It means like, hey, bro. It's bro, basically. That's what it is. You know, I text Ian, appreciate you, bro. I text Adora, appreciate you, bro. That's a paisan. It's a brother. Okay? You look somebody in the eye. When you look, that's building a relationship. You could look people in the eye, and it's honor, integrity that I talked about up above. My dad did the who, not how. They have a book on it now. My dad did the who, not how. He built houses with my uncle. He traded stocks with my other uncle that knew a little more in stocks than he did. He did the who, not how. It's these books are not rocket science, guys. I love the book Who Not How. It actually has some good formulas on how to hire people. If you have a certain income, here's the formula where how many people you can afford to hire. But my dad did the Who Not How. My dad didn't know how to build houses. He got my uncle together. He goes, Mike, come on, I want to build a couple houses. I got some extra money. Let's do it together. Come on. They built 26 houses in Briarcliff, Cherry Hill, in an upscale Westchester town. My dad didn't know how to buy houses. My dad was a restaurant guy, a build house. But it's a who, not how. Then my dad, MCI stock, I'll never forget it. He made $60,000 on MCI stock. He bought a car for me and a car for my brother with that, put it in the bank. And that stock, $60,000. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. But he had somebody who knew what they were doing with stocks, and he would trade stocks. He did not know what he was doing with stocks. It's a who, not how. And what else did they make money on? MCI, before it went bankrupt or crashed, he sold it, made $60,000. There was another one. My brother got into stocks and we trade money for them. So yeah, the who, not how. And the last thing is respect. This is crazy. My dad was loved. My dad was respected, but also feared. He was really feared. There was a kid, Danny, pizza kid, like 18, started me at 21. He was working part-time in college. He wanted to make my dad proud. He loved my dad. And it was like his dad. His dad was cool. I like to remind him of my dad. And he would always do nice things try and work hard and do this. One time he broke this olive oil bottle that my dad bought at some store. My dad loved the bottle. He'd go to all the tables. The kid's face turned white. He was like, holy shit, your dad's going to kill me. He's like, and he really wasn't worried about getting killed. He looked up to my dad. And he feared letting my dad down. That's what it was. As breaking a stupid bottle, something simple like that, he's like, fuck, I got to go out and buy one. I don't think I'm going to find the exact same one. He literally went out and bought one of the bottles. It wasn't the same. Brought it to my dad. And my dad was actually really pissed, kind of, because he loved that bottle. But then my dad saw the kid was like scared, like how the thought that the kid got, and he's not the same bottle. My dad he wasn't gonna kick. So, but it's just that fear. Like I loved, respected my dad, and I feared him. I was scared more of my father than the cops. And I have funny stories of we were riding rollerblades. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning near a pool, and we were just throwing M80s around. And cops jumped out of the bushes and made us put our hand. We weren't doing anything really. We had fireworks on us. The cop literally, one of my buddies his father was captain of the police. Thank God, because his cop's like, we're gonna let you guys off, even though you're blowing up M80s. The cop goes to my buddy. We're just gonna have to call the dads and let you guys know you're okay, and just report it to your parents. I looked at the cop. I said, nope, you're gonna arrest me. I'm not calling my dad. And the cop thought I was joking. I started like sweating, and my friend said to the guy, he's like, no, he's serious. He's like, he's not gonna call his dad. His dad will kill him. Like, I literally told the cop, you can take me in. I will let you handcuff me and take me in. I'm not calling my dad. I'm just not doing it. And I literally had to look on my face like dead serious. And then the cop actually couldn't believe it. He saw my face. And we didn't really do much. We did. He probably should have made me call. And he's like, just get out of here. Thank God my friend's father was one of the captains in the thing. We still were going to get a little in trouble. But that's because my dad was just like, I didn't want to let my dad down. I loved and respected my father, but that fear was okay. It's good to fear the parents, because that fear made me think twice when I was doing shit when I was a young kid. You know? And it's very important. I think it's like Machiavellian. You know, fear lasts longer than love. You know, I remember reading the Machiavellian book in high school, and a lot had to do with the love, the respect, and the fear with my father. You know, my dad demanded respect, and he gave a lot of love. You know, and nowadays my kids too, I want that respect and everything, and the fear and all that, and the love. I get the love. It's hard to get the respect nowadays. Being a parent nowadays is not what it used to be. You know, they're growing up with too much comfort in their life. Growing up, they're seeing too. You know, we're doing really, really well. It's hard. It's hard. But my kids knew knew their grandfather, and they knew he was a loving person. They knew the respect he demanded, so it helps me out a little bit. It helps me out a little bit.
Awesome.
And
Marco.
that's it, guys. Let me stop share. And I told you it's going to be a laid-back, quick one and relatable. Go ahead, Ian.
Hey, first off, Anna, I'll send you a friend request and let's jump on a call soon. Can't wait to meet up with you. And when you join the group, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. And I look forward to seeing you in September as well at the big meetup. Marco Hadar, you're the guy. You're the reasons why I joined MIH in the first place. Yes, I was thinking there might be some opportunities within the States, but I joined because I already know Hadar for about 12 or 13 years at the time, and I knew he was a stand-up person. He was a man of his word. If I shook Hadar's hand, and I knew it was a done deal, whatever he was talking about. And Marco, same with you. I've known you for almost 6 years now, and been in MIH for about 6 years, or coming up close. And I think about it every day, and I'm grateful every single day. A couple of questions for you. The first one is, Viviana she started in your business, and she's taken over some of the responsibilities that Remo was handling. What you've spoken about today, what are some of the top line things that you're trying to instill in her now that she's actually a voice and a person in management within the MIH community? And the second thing is, can you just dive into a bit more about how do you, with your 3 daughters, how do you stop them having that silver spoon mentality where they do have that work ethic, that they are hungry, that they want to get out of bed in the morning, they don't want to be on their phones all day, they don't want to have the flash cars, they don't want to have the flash house, they want to serve other people. That's in your DNA. How do you transpose that into your children?
I'm going to answer that one first.
You,
I'll go back to the other one. I'll answer that one first so I don't forget.
Okay.
Look behind me in my office. When my kids walk in my office, Dad, I got to get this done tomorrow. I point right there, now. I don't have to, what did that say? And they go, I know, not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. Like, and then like, impossible. They see that. Anything's possible. They're like, Dad, I can't buy buildings like you, and I can't do deals. I'm like, did you talk to Chelsea in the group? Did you talk to Lauren? Did you talk to Christina? Oh, what? Christina? Yeah, she's doing a 32. She's a 32, 42, and 43 unit with me. She's running the deal. Is she really? I took them to a 4 family that we're buying in. We bought in Pennsylvania. Rob and our team. So that's everything. I just have. Oh, you guys see my office? There's shit all over, like all over the place. And I wear these every day. I have Andrew. I have Andy. I have a different one every day. Discipline wins. Never give up. Win the day. Embrace the struggle. I could keep going. I get back to work. I mean, I have 20 of them. I wear these every day in the house, and at first they're looking at me like, "Why are you weird?" Like, and then like after like 3 months of this all I wear, it's like normal. So everything you do in the beginning, people are gonna be like, "You're freaking weird." Like if you don't form to society of wearing a Nike shirt or a polo shirt, and if you wear something like this, at first everybody look like, "What's your problem?" Like they'll think like, "What's your problem?" You know.
Mm.
And every day's this. I'll walk in the morning, embrace the struggle. Like my wife and they're right there. I'm like, that's what life. This is me. This is what it is. Like
We need to get you a Hubs Law Group one.
yes, we do. I want to hug Logan. But yeah, Ian, that's you gotta wear your heart on your sleeve. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Like you know how you do to your kids. You're nuts with the sprints and the working out and every day. Like me and you. Like your kids see that. They don't have to see working out. They see your stuff near the door. Your discipline. Like your sneakers and shirt, you can leave it somewhere that he sees it. And be like, your kid will be like, "Dad, what's that?"
Yeah.
That's ready for me when I wake up,
Yeah.
so I know I have to go, and it's automatic. And then he doesn't
Yeah.
have to see you working out. He knows your stuff's ready every day. What's that? That's this. He sees that, and that's discipline. You're teaching him discipline without talking. They need to see everything. It's you know what I'd say. Parents like, I got to sit down with my kid and talk to them. No, they don't listen. Stop talking. I always say, show them everything.
Mm.
Build stuff on the walls. Wear shirts. Do your exercise and let them see them. Let they hear you at work. You're bringing them out for ice cream one day. Hey, I got an open house. Bring them by the house. Be like, come inside or wait in the car, or just let them see
Yeah.
everything. You know,
Yeah.
that's how. What was the first question? Part of the question.
Now that Viviana, thank you for sharing that. Now that Viviana has taken an active role in the business, what are some of the key aspects that you particularly want to have instilled in her now that she's going to be a voice, emails, and that kind of thing? What are
So
the principles that you really want her to have?
this is important because people think I'm hiring her and she gets a salary and she's just gonna work, right? Just manual VA assistant, run my deals. No, you know what I'm paying. You know what I'm doing? I'm paying. She's a salary. She's working. I'm actually paying her. She's to do education for 10 years. Like part of her job is to read 20 to 40 pages a day of 6 books I got her, and then I'm gonna give her another 6 books. I want her to read like 100 books. Just keep going. Okay, so I told her you're getting paid to educate. And she took a social media course. I want her to take a marketing course, a sales course, a multifamily course. Like every week, she has to educate every day on top of her work. So she wakes up. She's got to told her you got to wake up, start work at 9 o'clock. Pick 11 or one. I need you reading. I need you 20 to 40 pages a day. And she's like, I'm
Okay.
like, you're getting paid to read. Why? Watch this, Rhino like this. If she gets smarter, she's gonna help make me more money one day. I need to get her educated like me. And if she gets educated, then I could feel safer handing stuff over to her and my other daughter. They both need to get educated. I want her educating for 10 years. Like my dad said, he needs to be by my side for 10 years. I told Viviana that story. You need to be educating with me in MIH and coming to the events for 10 years. Then in 10 years, then we can talk. Dead serious. I told her, I said,
Sounds
you're
good.
lucky. I wish my dad educated me as a chef for 10 years and I won 12 awards.
Mm.
My dad
Mm.
educated me for 10 years as a chef. I won 12 awards. I didn't win the awards. My dad taught me.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Legacy.
that's what I'm instilling in her. I told her I want her walking for mental health and depression and anxiety. I want her walking every day, clearing her head. And she was walking and texting and doing some work and doing other stuff. And I want her educating. And she knows my work ethic. She knows I'm nuts because of she knows my father. She knows me. I don't have to talk. She just got to hang out with me. You know?
Good. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate you, mate. If Vivi ever wants to talk to me about nutrition, exercise, mindset,
I,
we'll jump on a call.
I mentioned to her adding her to 365. I said, Viviana, you don't have to participate. I want you to see people that want to be 1% in health. And she told her about it. And I said, I want to see what my kids are very proud of me. Isabella gives me compliments all the time. She's like, Dad, you're looking good. You know? So my kids are very proud of my discipline in the health now. They're always proud of my business skills. When they
Mm.
were little, I let my health go a little bit at the
Yeah.
restaurant because the restaurant was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
overwhelming. Like I didn't have time to sleep. Okay. So they're very
Yeah.
proud of me. So I want Viviana to maybe join the 365 just to see you, Ian, and to see that. Because when you don't see that, she's hanging out with people who right now are young. They're not exercising that much. You don't think you need to do it. But then when you join our group,
Yeah.
you're like, what the hell? These people are crazy. They're nuts.
Yeah.
Like Eric Tomei
Let's
every
go.
morning. Eric Tomei every morning on the
Oh
dot,
my
5,
gosh.
6, 7,
Yeah.
every morning.
I know.
You know, you
Yeah.
right after him, me and late at night later. You know, like every day.
Yeah.
We haven't missed a day this year, me and you. You know,
Let's go.
I'm doing my dead hangs. My shoulder pain last year. My shoulder pain is like no pain, no pain, no wrist pain, no shoulder pain. I'm telling you, and I haven't missed a day this year, man.
Let's go.
Last thing from the
Okay.
365 chat. I cleaned my patio yesterday. I could have a guy. He power washed my house. I do it because I like doing it. Because it takes 9 in the morning. I was done by 3. I had to do the furniture. I had to do everything, the walls, everything. It's a covered patio, huge covered patio with a lot of pollen. 9 to 3. Ian, Andy, 15,000 steps cleaning a patio with the water and power washing. Listen to this though. 2 years ago I did it. Three years ago I did it. I was blasted. My legs, I was shot. I was laying on the couch the rest of the day. Yesterday, I went out with my wife last night like nothing. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even do it. Like I didn't even my
Yeah.
my
Awesome.
stamina is like I didn't even do it. You know.
That's the thing, man. You know, you do all this stuff at the gym and then walking and everything, and then when you go to do normal tasks, like functional stuff, it's a no-brainer. You can do it, and you just stack it up for that day as well. You've got an extra bonus of what you can do. Like some
And,
people put their back out, putting their rubbish out. You know, what's that about?
Andy, you're gonna see the difference. That rowing you're doing, you're gonna go do like
Yeah.
one day. You're gonna go to clean out your garage, and you're gonna spend an hour, 2 hours cleaning out your garage. And you're gonna go inside, and you're gonna think you're like blasted, like you're back. You're like, I'm not even tired. Whoa, that
Yeah.
little bit of rowing or
Yeah.
whatever.
So good.
Like 3 years ago, I did the patio. My legs. I was blasted. I was tired. I did it, but like yesterday, when I was done, I was like, what happened? I'm like, wow, my stamina got that much better.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. So good.
So.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep, Andy. Anything you want to say about the law firm? Your dad, your mom, your mom. Your mom was like my father, right? Your
Yeah,
mom's
no,
still
I,
around.
you know,
Actually,
it's
she's a
funny.
tough lady. She's still around.
Absolutely. No, I mean, my mom and dad are not immigrants, but I've always respected their work ethic, and it's what drives me. I mean, I love what I do. You mentioned something about that. I work 7 days a week, and it doesn't seem like work. I will get up early in the morning, do some things, and hang out with the kids, do some fun stuff. So I feel like I'm retired, even though I work 70 hours a week because I really love it. And to everybody that's new in this group, I mean, Marco, you're amazing. Ian is phenomenal. All of you guys, I mean, quality group of people. I love these stories. They motivate me, and you can always get something out of it. No matter, I've been in business for 22 years. I still learn from everybody. Good stuff and bad stuff, but I may be 52, but I plan on doing this for another 15 or 20 years. So I'm, you know,
Like Gary Vee says, you're just getting started because now your kids are you're gonna have fun doing this for your kids now. You know
oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's
I suspect at least one of them will become a lawyer. So
now Andy. That's why we got you so big onto the 365 chat because now that you're getting healthy and you drop the weight and your stamina's better, you're gonna be able to do it for longer.
yeah,
You're 52, when you're 60, you're gonna be better shape and you're gonna still want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff, dude. All right, guys. I didn't get a chance to say hi to my buddy Mike. He's on mute. Mike, you out there or no?
Yeah, I'm here. I was doing something at the pool club when the call started and doing a walk with the kids. So I'm not getting as close to you, but I did hit 13,000 steps today. So I'm going to chalk that up to a win for me.
I
And
guess Marco's
Great
the
job.
bar. I
Great
guess
job, Mike.
Marco's really pushing the group, huh? I love that.
well, it's I like I say it in the pod calls that we have. Like the first week, my normal step count was like 2,500. I mean, I might as well have been like dead. And the first 2 weeks that I was like averaging 12,000, I like what you're saying about body was in so much pain. You'd think I got hit by a truck every single day. Um, I've been averaging 12,000 plus for the last month, and it's just been a complete difference as far as how I just feel in the morning, getting out of bed, and throughout the entire day, have a little bit more energy. I mean, I have some more weight to lose and more steps to gain, but it's amazing when you actually put in the work, what could happen. So it's been great. So
Guys, Mike, you nailed on the
Well
head.
done, Mike.
Yeah, you nailed
Thank
it.
you.
It's common sense. More oxygen to the brain, more endorphins. You're breathing better. You wake up with more energy. You sleep better. So you said it, 2,000 steps, and you did 12,000, and you felt blasted, right? Same thing with me and the panel.
Yeah. I mean,
Bro,
even when we were in South Carolina, for those couple days, like to get up, at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and walk into the gym because I'm around you guys, you and Rob trying to compete with steps. And I see Rob already breaking a sweat at 5:15 in the morning on the treadmill. I'm like, I'm late, but it was good. I mean, we were, I was in there for 45 minutes plus all the walking that we did regular with, the RV park tour and all that stuff. And it's that's becoming the more of the normal routine for me now. I'll get up and typically outside by anywhere from like 5:45 to 6, walking for a good 30-40 minutes before I switch roles with my wife. And then she'll go out, and then I'll get ready with the kids to get them up for school. So it's good to, the small habits.
keep that routine. Get your time. Get back. Let your wife have her time, and
Yeah.
don't break it, dude. I remember we used to go
Yeah.
to Disney, and I did 25,000 steps, and I was tired. I'm like, oh my god, my feet, my legs. I average 22 to 25,000 steps a day now, and I don't
Yeah.
think twice. Like I built, but it does take time. You're gonna see every 2 months, 3 months, your stamina is there, and you're gonna be clicking 15,000 steps. Like you won't take a Zoom call standing here like this. If it's with me, don't take a Zoom. Get on a cell phone because me and you are buddies. We're partners. You don't have to be on Zoom with me. Take it while you're walking. 1 hour business call. You do 3 miles and it goes like this. That's the trick.
Yeah, I actually have one of those treadmills for the desk too, and I'm actually improving typing while walking at the same time, which in the beginning was very difficult to to do even at a slow pace. But again, consistency. So when we do our level 10s, they're 90 minutes. I'm walking at 2.2 miles an hour, which is not fast by any means, but when you're doing that and trying to type at the same time, it's a lot faster than you think. So just being consistent with that more and more is also kind of helped, so.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, dude. Great.
Mike, I just want to say, man, well done to you. And you're in the 365 chat. Freaking set a goal for yourself. Set a goal. I'm going to post every day for a week in the 365 chat. Whether you do 10,000 steps, you do 1,000 steps. Put it out there because everybody gets inspired from everybody else. Whether you go for a walk for 5 minutes or you go for an hour, man. But I'm just really, really proud of you. Jump on a call with me if you want to discuss it further. I know we've spoken about it in the past, but yeah, man, freaking awesome. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
Ian,
appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike had a great shirt on that I actually have. It says, "You don't know what somebody's going through." Like I can't remember what it exactly says, but he's wearing the shirts and he's all you're all in, Mike. I'm glad to see that, man. The 365 chat's life changing. And you, Mike, you're right. Cause of Robert, I don't drink during the week anymore. Cause first of all, calories, cause I want to lose weight, but also it's poison. So like I went out with my wife the other night. I only save it for when I'm out with my wife or Mike. If me and you are in Carolinas and you want to have a beer, I had a beer with you. I had a drink with you. Ian's coming. I'll have a Mai Tai with him at the beach. But I don't need. When I was at the restaurant, I was drinking a little too much scotch doing the bills during the week. I was at home and that was my treat. Hey, it's time to do the bills. Let me have a little scotch. Just a little bit, but a little Tuesday,
Yeah.
a little Wednesday, then a little Thursday, and then I'd go out on the weekends and have drinks with my wife. So it's like, why don't I not drink during the week and socially have one or two drinks with my wife out for fun? And enjoy it because I'm in her company. When I'm by myself, I'm like, why am I drinking by myself, dude? I don't need to do that. What's that?
It's even we're in Kenya thing, right? I had that tequila drink. Time I had tequila in a couple months, and I was a tequila drinker, mezcal drinker, consistently, not like multiple a day, but that was my drink of choice. And it this tasted disgusting going down. And then we went out to dinner, me and my wife, this past weekend for our anniversary, and same thing. She got a cocktail, didn't like it, I drank it, and as I was drinking it, I was just nursing it so much, the hour and a half of dinner, because it didn't feel good going down, So once you get out of the routine, it's difficult to get back into it, so to speak, as far as drinks are concerned, and for me anyway. So
I owe it to
Sounds
Ian
good,
and
Mike.
Robert, man. Ian, it's you
Yeah,
and
we
Robert
are.
in health and drinking less and exercising.
Yeah, we are our habits, right? Whatever our habits
yeah,
are, that's what we are. That's who we are. So let's go.
Yeah.
Freaking pumped up, man. I'm so
yeah,
excited. You made
yeah,
my day. You made my day, Mike, listening to what you've been doing. It's not easy, right? Because you've got a comfortable chair at home. You've got emails, a TV program you want to
yeah,
catch up
no,
with, or a ball game. You got kids and everything else, but you're freaking making it, man. You're freaking getting out there.
yeah,
You just got to do it. Be consistent. Don't be a one-hit wonder, man. You got to freaking go.
yeah. I,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I did 3,000 steps while I was watching the Knicks game the other day, jogging in place like a psychopath. So it's just, again, kind of
That's
getting it
awesome.
done whenever you can and wherever you
Mike,
can, and
I got
you
in your
know.
head, I guess, right? It's good. It's like
Yeah,
Robert
you
got into
did.
my
No,
head.
it's true.
Yeah.
I'm on that 365 chat, and I see it all the time, and it's just, yeah, I haven't put anything out there, but I see it, and it is something that you kind of you look at, and you're like, oh, look what this one's doing, look at what that
Yeah.
one's doing, and I think I've shared with some of you. I had a heart infection when I was 26, and as I reached 50, I'm 46 now. But as I get closer to 50, I'm at an elevated risk for certain heart ailments and heart disease because of the permanent damage that I had during the infection. So it's like now or never type thing. It was always like, I have time, I have time, I have time. But
No.
yeah, now it's 4 years away, and it just, with three
Well, here
young
it
kids,
is.
it,
You
it
know why you have
honestly scares
time?
the hell out of me.
You
So
know why you have time? You could take a business call on your cell phone with Graith instead of being on Zoom with Graith, because you're partners and you know each other good. So
yeah,
once a day, if you have 6 calls or whatever, take one of the calls at 9 o'clock in the morning out on a walk. For a half hour, an hour,
yeah,
even if it's for a half hour. So you got 30 minutes to 45 minutes minimum every day that you could either
yeah,
before work, during work, or after work. It's part of your for your girls. So, but like
yeah,
same thing, like
yeah,
Robert, because of Robert, I'm drinking less. Like you got to surround yourself with winners and with people who you want, like who want to make you better and want you to make them better. It's
yeah,
what we're doing. It's an inner circle. It's the MIH Mastermind. It's the 365 chat. It's all 3 family groups that I'm bringing together. You know.
yeah.
All right, guys. Ian, appreciate you. We have somebody new jumping on, Chester. I hope you got some good value from this.
Yeah,
And
awesome,
saw some of our
Chester.
family. Anna, it was nice to see you. Nice to see you there, even though the video's not on. But I'm going to talk to you soon. Anna, thank you. David, we'll talk soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
I hope this
Yep,
got some value. Take care, Ian.
Thanks, Marco. Appreciate you, bro.
Mhm.
appreciate it. Thanks.